Alright, so the division is about a flood prone village that refuses to relocate because of cultural ties. In my opinion, safety should come first. If the area is dangerous, relocation is necessary. But I also understand that culture is very important to them. So, what do you guys think about this?
I agree with you that safety is important, but I don't think forcing them to relocate is the best solution. If we force them, they might feel angry or lose trust in authorities. Some might even go back to the same place.
Yes, I agree with Tamia. Forcing people rarely works. Maybe we can encourage them instead, like giving better houses, jobs, or money so they want to move.
But even with incentive, what if they still refuse? Some people are really attached to their land, especially if it involves ancestors and tradition.
That's true. I think instead of focusing only on relocation, we can also improve their current village, like build flood barriers or raise house. At least it reduces the risk.
That's a good point, but do you think that's enough? Because floods can be unpredictable, especially with climate change.
Not completely enough, but at least it's better than doing nothing. It's respect their culture too.
I think Alifa's idea is good for short term, but a long term, staying there is still risky. So maybe we combine both ideas.
I also think communication style is important. If we just tell them this place is dangerous, they might feel threatened or defensive.
Yes, I agree. The approach must be respectful. Maybe we can involve community leaders like village head or elders. People trust them more.
That's a very good point. If the message comes from someone they trust, they are more likely to listen compared to outsiders.
Exactly. So instead of forcing them from the top, we work from within the community.
I also think we should involve them in decision making, like ask their opinions about relocation plans, not just decide for them.
Yes, that gives them a sense of control. If they feel included, they won't feel like victims but part of the solution.
That actually builds long term trust, which is very important in humanitarian work.
Another thing is I want to add about younger generation. Maybe the older villagers are more attached to the land, but younger people might be more open to moving.
That's true. So maybe we can target awareness program towards youth first. They can influence their families slowly.
Yeah, like educating children in schools about disaster risks. Over time, it can change the mindset of the whole community.
I also think about social media can help, like sharing real stories of flood victim or successful relocation cases.
Yes, especially nowadays, people are more exposed online. It can spread awareness faster.
But we should also be careful not to scare them too much. If they panic, it might create chaos instead.
True, the goal is awareness, not fear. We want them to understand, not to feel forced.
So overall, it's about balance between information, support, and respect.
And I think this makes voluntary relocation more realistic because we're not just giving orders, we're guiding them step by step.
Yes, I was thinking the same. Like first, improve their safety in the village. Then slowly convince them to move by giving incentive.
I agree with that because if we suddenly ask them to move, they will reject it. But if we build trust first, they might be more open later.
So basically, we don't force them, but we guide them. Is that what it is?
Yes, exactly. More like a persuasion, not force.
And also, education is important. We need to explain the risk clearly so they understand the danger.
Yes, awareness is important. Sometimes people stay because they underestimate the risk.
But I still think we should have a backup plan. Like if a big flood happens, evacuation must be ready.
I agree with Amal. And I think before anything, we need to give them more exposure about how dangerous floods actually are. Maybe some of them don't fully understand the long term risks.
Yes, that's true. Like they might think floods are normal because they have experienced it many times. But they don't realize it can get worse, especially with a climate change.
We can organize awareness programs like talks or simulations. For example, show them real cases where floods caused death or destroyed entire village.
Yeah, maybe even invite experts or survivors to share their experiences. That can make it more real and emotional.
And also explain the hidden effects, not just physical damage, like disease, loss of income, trauma. These are long term problems.
Exactly. If they understand the full danger, they might be more open to relocating.
Besides that, besides that, we also need to show them that moving out actually gives them a better future, not just safety.
What do you mean by better future?
Like better job opportunities, education for children, and healthcare. If they see benefits, they won't feel like they are losing everything.
Yes, because right now they only see relocation as a loss. We need to change their mindset to see it as an opportunity.
Maybe the government can also provide long term planning, like building a proper township for them, so it's not just moving, but upgrading their lifestyle.
I agree. And maybe give them some skills training so they can adapt a new job after relocation.
That's important because if they lose their income source, they will definitely refuse to move.
So basically, it's not just about telling them to leave, but preparing their future properly.
Yes, and supporting them even after relocation, not just before.
Combining this with awareness about flood risk, I think it will be much more effective.
Good point. Emergency planning is necessary.
So, can we say that forced relocation is not suitable?
I think we all agree it's too harsh.
But it's still the safest option, not just most practical socially.
Exactly, it solves the problem but creates another problem.
Alright, so based on discussion, we come to a conclusion that forced relocation can be safe but not really suitable. Adaptation respects culture but not fully safe. And yet, voluntary relocation is the most balanced one. So we all could collectively agree the best solution for this dilemma that we're facing as humanitarian leader is to encourage relocation with incentives. Plus, we can also improve the current safety as a short-term solution.
That's all from our group. Thank you.